Daily Dawg Chow, September 12. Browns News. Quinshon Judkins participates in practice as final preparations for the Ravens are made. The latest Cleveland Browns coverage from Dogs by Nature. Browns, Ravens Week 2 injuries. Quinshon Judkins back, BAL improves Thursday, Jared Mueller. Browns vs. Ravens in Week 2 could be greatly impacted by Isaiah Likely, Nnamdi Madubuike's injury report status. Browns vs. Ravens Week 2 predictions. Experts want to show Cleveland respect, just not against Baltimore, Chris Picorni. The DBN staff predicts the Week 2 games, plus the national media make their predictions for Browns vs. Ravens. Are the Browns Derrick Henry's kryptonite? Thomas Moore. Cleveland's defense has held its own over the years when facing Baltimore's bruising running back. 3 worst Browns vs. Ravens moments in the rivalry's history, Abby Mueller. Given that the Browns take on the Ravens Sunday, let's explore some of the more challenging moments over the years. More Cleveland Browns news. Garafolo says rookie RB Judkins was a full participant in practice, the insiders, NFL.com. NFL media insider Mike Garafolo discusses Cleveland Browns' Quinshon Judkins was a full participant in practice ahead of their Week 2 matchup on The Insiders. Ravens' Derrick Henry sends scary message to Browns after trash talk, Newsweek. Baltimore Ravens star Derrick Henry spoke out with a scary message to the Cleveland Browns. Why NFL insiders report proves Shedeur Sanders needs new team for development, Sports Illustrated. Cleveland Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders may be low on the depth chart, but in an updated top NFL jersey sales, he is among elite company. Shedeur Sanders has not yet made his debut with the Browns, but he has already surpassed Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, Marca. The Cleveland Browns' Shedeur Sanders has already made waves off the field, establishing a brand that rivals, and even surpasses, his fellow NFL stars like Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Browns are healthy going into Baltimore, YouTube. Quincy Carrier reports on the latest. The morning sun broke across Berea, Ohio, on September 12 with a crispness that felt like football. The Cleveland Browns, fresh off a bruising opener, were no longer basking in off-season storylines or preseason hype. This was the grind, the week before the Baltimore Ravens came to town, a matchup that always promised blood, bruises, and the kind of tension only a deep AFC North rivalry can bring. Inside the facility, the rhythm of the day was steady but charged. The scent of fresh turf clung to cleats as players filed in, and coaches already scribbled on whiteboards. Today's edition of the Daily Dawg Chow wasn't just a news roundup. It was a pulse check on a team facing the weight of expectations, questions, and the opportunity to steady itself before one of the league's fiercest opponents. A return in the backfield. Quinshon Judkins practices. The headline belonged to rookie running back Quinshon Judkins. After missing reps earlier in the week with what had been described as a nagging lower body issue, the second-year star in the making was spotted back on the practice field. Fans exhaled. Coaches nodded. Teammates slapped his helmet. Judkins wasn't just another piece in the backfield rotation. He was insurance, innovation, and intrigue all in one. With Nick Chubb's timeline still cautious and the coaching staff seeking ways to maintain balance in the offense, Judkins represented both the present and the future. He looked sharp, one assistant coach whispered on the sideline. Fresh legs, strong cuts. That's exactly what we needed to see. For a Browns team trying to establish rhythm, his presence was more than symbolic. It was strategy. Against a Ravens defense known for blitzing gaps and testing young players, having Judkins ready meant the playbook stayed open. The rivalry week mentality. You could feel it in the locker room. Even players new to Cleveland understood that Ravens Week isn't just another week, it's a declaration. The AFC North has its own brand of football, smash mouth, black and blue, built on history and grudges. Browns vs. Ravens, though, carries an additional sting. Baltimore was born from Cleveland's loss, a franchise uprooted decades ago, leaving scars still tender in the fanbase. Every snap against the Ravens is a reminder. Every collision is a statement. Defensive captain Myles Garrett said it best. This isn't just a game. This is who we are. You beat Baltimore, and you don't just climb the standings, you prove you belong. The Browns enter the week knowing Lamar Jackson and the Ravens' offense remain as slippery and dangerous as ever. The play action, the broken plays, the sudden bursts, it forces a defense into both patience and chaos. For Garrett and Zadarius Smith, setting edges and collapsing the pocket wasn't optional. It was survival. Coaching adjustments, Stefanski's balancing act. Head coach Kevin Stefanski stood at the podium with his familiar calm, measured voice, yet behind the tone was urgency. Reporters asked about the run-pass balance, about Shedeur Sanders' continued development behind Deshaun Watson, about how the offensive line was adjusting to early season injuries. Stefanski didn't flinch. "It's about execution," he said. "We have our plan. We trust our guys. And we know what kind of fight Baltimore is bringing." Behind closed doors, though, Stefanski and offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt were deep in chess moves. Judkins' availability allowed them to shift packages, disguise formations, and challenge the Ravens to account for more than Amari Cooper's route running or David Njoku's size. Balance wasn't just about yardage, it was about rhythm. A screen here, a delayed handoff there, a bootleg to keep linebackers honest. Baltimore thrives when an offense becomes predictable. The Browns couldn't afford that. Deshaun Watson's leadership under fire. Another headline circling the dog pound was about Deshaun Watson's command of the offense. His opener left critics circling, hesitations in the pocket, missed throws, questions about chemistry. But inside the building, teammates rallied behind him. Amari Cooper told reporters, "Deshaun's locked in. You'll see it this week. Nobody's harder on him than himself. We're right there with him." Watson's week of preparation included long sessions in the film room, walking through coverages with younger receivers, and even staying late to sharpen timing routes. His duel with Baltimore's secondary, especially ball hawk safety Kyle Hamilton, would be one of the game's decisive battles. For Watson, Sunday wasn't just another game. It was a proving ground. A chance to silence noise, reclaim momentum, and remind Cleveland why they invested in him. The defense stands tall. If the Browns' offense was a puzzle in progress, the defense was the anchor. Myles Garrett, already in mid-season form, reminded the locker room during a players-only huddle that this week was about 11 men moving as one. Opposite him, Za'Darius Smith carried the chip of being overlooked. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah's sideline-to-sideline speed loomed as a critical counter to Lamar's scrambling. And in the secondary, Denzel Ward versus Zay Flowers promised fireworks. Flowers' explosiveness as Baltimore's young star wideout demanded discipline and swagger from Ward, who relished these kinds of matchups. Defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz kept his game plan close to the vest but dropped one hint. The key to stopping Baltimore isn't just tackling Lamar. It's closing the space around him before he even sees it.